I'm a sappy guy. Put me in front of a Christmas advert with a happy ending or an episode of Undercover Boss and I cry like a little girl with a great knee. It's something I'm used to by now, and video games make that 10 times worse. They've certainly become more entwined with the human spirit as of late, and it just goes to show that it's not just a good book that can get the old eye juices flowing. Telltale Games The Walking Dead is, it's their magnum opus, and there's a reason for that. It's one of the greatest storytelling games we've seen to date, with some fantastic characters and some truly emotional moments. I must admit, when I first played it way back when, I couldn't get on with it. Maybe it was the controls or the restrictions to movement, or maybe it was the way you were introduced to your characters, or maybe it just wasn't my time. I came back to it a year or so later and it didn't take long before I was hooked, drawn in like a kipper on a fish hook. I fell in love with Clementine and how innocent she was. Watching her grow throughout the series and subsequently looking back on her journey in Season 3 is one of the greatest experiences I've had the privilege of witnessing in video games. Maybe it was because I could sympathise with Lee and Kenny, who were trying to raise her, running into problems no child should have to face, raising questions I tried to answer hypothetically as if it was my own daughter in the fray. Clementine witnesses death every day. Sometimes it was a close friend, someone she bonded with over time, or maybe a fleeting visitor to the circle of friends she kept. Nonetheless, seeing a person go from alive to dead, then to the undead is enough to fuck up any kid. But she stays strong, she grows as a person, she learns from everything she's done and she carries on like a real trooper. And throughout both Season 1 and Season 2, Clementine becomes a young woman in possession of a warm heart slightly frozen from the sheer number of lives she's seen disappear in front of her. When I saw her in Season 3, I was genuinely uncomfortable talking to her. Was this the Clementine I knew? The young and innocent child I've been keeping safe for 2 whole seasons, now taking care of me, killing walkers to protect my welfare in such a cold, heartless way. It had been some time since I left her at the end of Season 2, and she'd seemed to have grown up, not just mentally but physically. She was taller and mature. Season 3 did a great job of reminding you that she's still a kid, and one particular conversation she has with Xavi about periods touched upon her fragility. Every season is so well written, and Clementine is one of the greatest characters in all of video game history. But so is Kenny. Maybe I'm the only one who feels like this, especially if you go down some dark roads with him in Season 2. But my word, what a guy. He goes through some serious shit and loses everyone around him, his wife, his kid, his girlfriend. Watching Kenny go from this lovable guy to this highly volatile human being is poignant, scary at times, but ultimately relatable. He's just some guy who got caught in the middle of something and he's doing whatever that instinct, that killer instinct inside him is telling him to do. He's corrupted by the world, corrupted by the zombies, everything. Just a terrible place for him to be in. And The Walking Dead absolutely nail his progression. And I related to him a lot, and I think it's one of the greatest experiences we've ever seen from a character in the game. Xavi and David's relationship in Season 3 also hits home the importance of family and loyalty. Lee's strength and willingness to protect Clementine in Season 1 is inspirational, and Michonne's pain throughout her story arc was engaging to watch. So many games tell us that the choices we make will impact the story in some way, but apart from what Supermassive do with their games, Telltale really makes you believe it. There are times when you're having to choose between keeping someone alive or ending their lives, and picking between 2 characters when only one can survive. It's a brutal apocalypse and you're constantly forced to make the tough decisions, even if it means they're the wrong ones. I don't think there's a better series of games to change the way writers and developers implement such a strong narrative. Telltale has managed to make character development and the player's emotions centre stage in their construction of their episodic structure. Much like the television show of the same name, the story isn't at the forefront, it's the characters, and our love for them grows stronger with every episode. In a world surrounded by death, decay, heartache, heartbreak, it shows that the human spirit can rise above all else. And in Telltale's The Walking Dead, you learn a lot about the human spirit, about the way people feel under the pressures of this horrific incident. It's just devastating. And I've got to hand it to Telltale. They are one of the best developers for storytelling, and one of the greatest games we have ever seen come to light is all thanks to these guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris White from God Is a Geek. Have a great day.